Hey guys, my name is Jenny. If you have never seen me before, I normally do beauty videos, but today I'm going to do something totally different because I feel like I could really help some people out there. So yeah, I'm going to be sharing with you the activity kits that I put together right before I had my daughter. I have a 3-year-old son. He'll be 4 in March, and I really wanted to keep him busy. I knew I'd be, breastfeeding a lot, sitting in a chair, and I wanted to make sure there was something for him to do so that he felt valued, so that he was busy and, wasn't bored, wasn't getting into trouble, being destructive, that kind of thing. So I put together these kits and I wanted to share them with you. Now, I did all this in an afternoon. I am a former teacher. I taught for many years. I taught older children, but what I did was I thought, I used to do centers with my 8-year-olds. Let's just kind of do that kind of thing, except make it on the level for a much younger child. And it's kind of hard to figure out where your child is, so you might have to do a couple of these and then kind of figure out how to modify it to make it a little bit more advanced depending on your child's level. But my advice, start basic and then build, because you don't want them to be frustrated. These should be activities they can do on their own. It's also important for me to point out that none of these are going to be something you can throw at your child and say, here, do this for an hour. At the first grade level, their attention span, when I was teaching lessons, I would never teach anything over 20 minutes. The first 10 minutes is going to be the most educational. So thinking about that for a 7, 8-year-old, if we move it down to a 3-year-old, they're not going to be able to pay attention for that long. These are little short activities. You want to keep them fun. You don't want them to be tasks that they have to complete. And you want to make sure your attitude says, hey, let's do this. This is going to be fun. This is something that I'm going to let you do for 10 minutes. And then we're going to put it away because you can only do it for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Kind of play into that. Make sure that they don't feel like it's a task. So let's pull out the first one. I wanted my son to work on counting, so I got just some kidney beans from the store, put them in a plastic bag, and then I got these from the Dollar Tree, these pieces of paper, and I just drew numbers on each one. So this one he would put 1 bean on, this one 2 beans, 3 beans, and so on and so forth, until he got, I think this goes up to 10. So he's also working on his hand-eye coordination, making sure to put these tiny little beans in each of the places, and it also works on his counting, and then I'd have him read them back to me. Now, I went over all these activities with him, us together. We did each one, over the course of a couple weeks, so that after he knew what the process was, he could do them on his own. Another one would be shadow time. So I got him his own flashlight from Target, and we put up a sheet, and he can make shadows on the sheet, come up with a story. This is a fun activity for he and I to do together, and it also made him feel special, this one-on-one time with mommy. After we complete each activity, he has a little chart, and he can get these little puppy kitten stickers, and when he gets the whole chart filled, then we can do something fun like go to a museum, have a friend over, go to the $1.50 theater, do something just he and I, which he thinks is special. So right now he's, if you can see on here, he's completed 4 activities, and he gets to choose his little sticker, but he knows, that this is in here. And I also have a timer in there, because sometimes I'll say like, oh, if an activity is too easy, I'll say, let's see if we can do this in 5 minutes, just to kind of speed it up a little bit. Other one, just a coloring book and some crayons. When he completes one page in the coloring book, he'll get a sticker. He doesn't really like this activity as much as some of the other ones. So I took a cupcake tin, and I hot glue gunned these balls inside each of the things, and then what he'd have to do is to take the tongs and pick up a ball and then find the matching color and kind of put it in there with that. Instead of, I added the tongs in there just to kind of, you know, make it a little bit more difficult. A similar activity, because sorting is going to be really important with kids this age. I just got some plastic cups. I put some construction paper with each of the colors in the bottom, and he has the blocks that he has to sort and then put into the different color cups, and we talked about what each color is. Sorting is really big in kindergarten. Looking at different attributes, you know, all of these are the same shape, but you can do different shapes and say put all of the hearts in this one, put all of the yellow hearts in this one, all of the blue hearts in this one, and kind of just talk about the different attributes, the shape, the color, the size, that kind of thing. Some sidewalk chalk, if you're able to go outside and draw pictures, that's a great thing to have in your activity kit. Another one, these are noodles, just like a bag full of different colored noodles. They're all spiral, but you can get ones with different shapes, and another sorting activity. Now here is a bag, and it has toothpicks in it, and then a toothpick container. So I dump out all the toothpicks and I say, Everett, put them in the container. And then there's a tiny hole here, so he has to kind of fish each one into the container. And if it gets too easy, this is like one of the ones where I would bring out the timer and set the timer and then see how many he could put in there. Here's another one of the bean activities, but it's much higher numbers. So if he were able to master the 1 through 10, then I would maybe add more frogs to it with higher numbers on it. These tins are amazing. I love them because they keep my counters clean. So one thing we'll do is Play-Doh, and I'll say, you know, you have to keep the Play-Doh inside this cake tin, and you know, that way he won't make a huge mess. Another thing we do with the tins, this is got some food coloring, and I put a couple drops in the water, and then I got some different measuring devices like this, just like you can just get this out of your kitchen or whatever. And then I got 2 of these, and then a funnel, and I said, you know, you're a scientist. I want you to put this this material in, or this liquid, into the other container, and I want you to measure it. So he like gets the little sucker thing and sucks out the liquid and then puts it in here, and he's got it all in the pie tin, and he will go back and forth and do this. I mean, I had first graders that would do this for hours, pretend like they're scientists. And then you can get different size containers and, you know, say, I want you to transfer this acid into this base. And, you know, they have to do this and kind of squeeze it and put it in the other one. But if you add the food coloring to it, it kind of adds an element of pretend to it that's that kids really, really like. Another one I saw on Pinterest, but Everett was a little bit too old for this. This is one of the ones, I don't know, he didn't like it as much. But I got some pipe cleaners and then a colander, and he worked, you know, you kind of work on fishing it through the holes and, you know, creating a design. One for younger kids, it's, you know, even as young as like 1, probably do something like that. Next one up. Now these are not really, it says they're paint dab markers, and I don't know. I don't like the brand that I got because I feel like it's very messy. But they're just like little felt tip tops, and you can kind of dab and make a picture with dots. And it's supposed to be more kid friendly. They're paint dab markers. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones, or Everett's favorite ones. So I got these flashcards from the dollar store, and all I did was cut them in half, and I had Everett put them together as a puzzle. Now these are the hardest ones. They're dinosaurs, so all I did was cut the flashcard in half, and then he has to find the matching dinosaurs, and he's really good at puzzles, so he likes to do this kind. Another set I got at Walmart. they have apples on one side, and then on the other side they look like this, and then on the other side they have shapes, and so he puts them in piles, like all the hearts together, all the orange, so looking at different attributes and putting them into groups like that. And then these are Winnie the Pooh cards. I think you buy these actually as puzzles. So you have the two parts, and then you put the parts of Winnie the Pooh together to make a picture. Those are pretty easy. This is the last one I'll show you. They're just sight word cards, and they have, and I just cut them in half. I didn't even do any kind of crazy cut on these. I just like straight up down the middle, and I have him put them together like this. The more zigzags or whatever you put in there, it's going to be harder. So you want to think about the age of your child and how good they are at puzzles. And then when he puts them together, have him read off, oh, what's that a picture of? A hat, or a crown, or the moon, or whatever. But I have a ton of these, and I only give him about 10 at a time, because they come in packs of like, I don't know, 30 or something. So 10 at a time, and every time he completes one of these little baggies, he gets a sticker. I also got some DVDs. Actually, I already had these from teaching, but like this one is Tybo Kicks, the Billy Blanks, but it's for kids. It's something I can pop in and kind of have him get some energy out. This one is Fit Kids by Denise Austin, and they go and they act like animals and do stuff. That's also fun on a rainy day. And then the last one I'm going to share with you today, because this video is getting really long, I got paint swatches. There's a free from the store, and I bought some clothespins, and I have him match the colors. And you think about your child's level, if this is just red, blue, and green, those are going to be easier to match than these, slight shade variations here, where you find, the match, and it's a little bit harder. Sometimes I have to have him put it right by there and say, is that the same or is that different? And then I only give him a few at a time, and then if he's mastered those, then I give him more, and that's kind of how you can just modify for each child's ability levels. But I have a whole box of, these paint swatches. So yeah, if you would like to see more videos like this, please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. If you have a little activity you would like to share, let's make this video interactive and totally outside my comfort zone, but I thought it might be helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.